22 seconds from the start. And the last one you saw, I came in 8th place. And these races, I didn't know what they were. When I looked up this, and I saw the name of this race, I don't want to tear it up, so I won't say it. But I looked it up and I realized this is another hill race. And I'm thinking today is going to be all hills. This is going to be great fun for me. And we're getting ready to start and we're off. Now even on this race right here, I don't know where's the hills coming in at, but I decided that if I'm going to survive this race in any kind of manageable meaning, I need to get up front. So I decided that I need to get as far up front as I can, and if I can pull off, I need to get ahead of everyone. So I started trying to get up to the front of the pack. And you see, I'm edging to the front. This is only 2.9 miles. And thinking to myself, on an average day when I'm riding a race that's with the rolling hills, 2.9 is a 7-minute race. So I'm thinking to myself, if I can get ahead of these guys and just ride this thing out and just ride at a steady pace, and I'm not trying to actually kill myself. I dropped it down from 500 to like 450. And I'm doing 80 pedals, and I'm not trying to get my heart rate too high. But I know when the race starts and they give you a feather for a big guy, don't give me a feather again. Lie to me. Give me a weight, and let me think that this race is going to be all flat and downhill. But when they give you a feather when they start off, you know hills are coming. So I decided that I'm gonna try to get out ahead of the guys and just ride. And these guys are really good. Like I said, these guys are really good who's racing with me. So they're not gonna just let me leave them. So as I come around this race and I'm pushing it, I'm trying to stay with the pack, and the pack is staying with me. And I look down, and everybody's like 0 seconds behind me, or 0 seconds. They're riding right with me. But I still try to push the pack in goals of that. If maybe I can tire someone out who's really good, or maybe I can get them ahead of their pace that they normally used to ride at. And when we get to these little slight, even a negative 1% down incline with the power I'm pushing out with my weight, I still pull ahead of them. The problem is when we hit an incline, there's nothing I can really do now. But you see me at 28 miles an hour, and we on the 0 flat, and I'm just trying to maintain that speed in hopes that I can pull ahead of this guy, or pull ahead of the rest of the group, that when a hill does come along, I'm good enough to make it past the hill. Now, the one thing I think I did on this race that was crucial, that really hurt me on, was I think I hit that feather a little too soon. There was an incline coming, and I saw the guys beside me, and I really wish I would have held off a little longer to hit that feather. I noticed that, and I said, if we ever come to this race ever again, I will do that. But I hit the feather. I think we was on an incline, and it got up to 10%. It might have even been 5. It wasn't that high, but it was a long incline. And like I say, this race is not long. It's only 2.9 miles. So right now we're a mile. I'm a mile and 8 left in, and 8.1 a mile point 8 left, and I'm doing pretty good. I can do pretty good on these 2, maybe 3% incline. I keep people around me, but as long as it's that kind of incline, I can ride with them. That leaves me enough power to get past it. But if you notice, my heart rate is at 155. For me, anything above 155, getting close to 160, I'm gonna tire out eventually. So the question comes in is, what do I do now? And so as we get into the flat and I'm feeling comfortable still, I'm just trying to, he's forcing me to stay at that pace. And I decide I'm just gonna stay at this pace. I refuse to come off this pace. If this is what I gotta do to win this race, I'm thinking we're down to less than a mile and a half. I can do it. Now I see the hill coming, and I'm looking at, I've gotta be real with you. I'm looking at the mountain going, am I gotta climb? Do I have to climb this mountain for another mile and a half? And the answer is pretty much yeah. And that's where the problem comes. For over half the race, I'm in the lead, and I'm riding with everyone 20 miles an hour, and we're at a 1-3% incline, and I still can hold that off. I still can ride with them at that. Anything past 5, and you're asking for I'm pushing out almost 600 watts, 500, 600 watts. And this is when I hit the feather. I hit it too soon. I should have just kept widening it out and left it alone. but the feather for me, I think it drops 10% of your body weight off. So that's roughly 40 pounds. And if I could have held off just a little longer, but I saw the 4%, I'm thinking this hill's gonna get really high, and this is the last one in the race. But I didn't know how many feet this race was climbing. And there's a group of people who are still with me, but as you can see, as we come over this hill, there's another one coming up soon. And I don't realize that until we get around this corner and we start to climb again. And that's when I realized, okay, there's more hills. And I'm still trying to push. It's only a mile left, and I think to myself, well, if I can just push this mile out, that's all that's left. I push this mile out and we stay right here. When we get to the end, there should be enough for me to sprint this thing out. But you see, I'm getting close to 160 now. And I'm getting ahead of them. It's got just a slight negative before we go into another steep climb. But anytime we get close to negative or flat, I can pull away. I'm comfortable enough to pull away. And I'm trying, but my heart rate is at 160 because I've been pushing this race. It's at 159, getting ready to get to 160. And we're less than a mile left in the race, and the incline started to keep creeping, even at 2%. As long as you could race with me, you're gonna stay right beside me or behind me on these inclines. And I'm thinking, well, if it just stays here, I can ride it out. It's at 1%, 2%. If the goal is to get to the end, I just stay here, stay with the pack, and at the last, when the numbers kick up at 1,000 feet, I'm gonna try to hit 1,000 beats per minute. Now I have a meter on my arm and I have an Apple Watch Ultra, and that's how I keep up. But every once in a while I think sweat gets under it, or it starts reading for a second and it blocks out for a moment and then it comes back. So I'm looking at it, it's at 3%. I'm still trying to push, but I've been pushing at 160 so long that I think I was starting to really get tired. 160 is where I get to the point where I really start getting tired. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's only half a mile. We're gonna push this thing through. And I see the 5 come up and I go, okay, I still can push it. Heart rate getting up past getting in the 160s. I'm still seeing it. I look up, I see that 6 go red, let me know that 7 is coming. I still decide I'm gonna keep pushing this race. I'm gonna keep pushing it. But no matter how hard I'm pushing, my heart rate is at 160, I'm at 500 watts, 93 pedals a minute, and I'm still getting left like I'm standing still. I was at like 20 some miles an hour. I'm down to 9 at 6%, and I'm still pushing. I'm not slowing down, I'm still pushing this bike. But when there comes 6%, 5%, 6% greater rate, and I'm right next to the people, there's a fight for me. So I want everybody to understand that that's why I won't move right now. Because if these are doing this with these on 5%, imagine what happens with a 3%, 2%. Now, I've shown that happen this week on, I think I did the world race, and you can see when I did that, and I think I did last week on a different race where I was racing with C's, and I just hit a slight 2% or 3% incline, and they left me like I was standing still. That's the problem right now, but it will not be the problem forever. I will get to the point where I can push through these and I can maintain it, but at 150, 160 heart rate, 160 heart rate, I start to tire out a little bit quicker than I normally would, because that's not where I'm normally used to being. I'm used to being 140, 150, 155 is where I'm normally at. That's right there where it's coming down to, but you can see my pedals coming down because I'm tired. I was trying to maintain that the whole time. Now it's at 8%, and I'm tired and I'm steady falling back. And there's nothing I can do about that right now, but I don't want to discourage anyone because of that. If you're a heavier guy, heavier girl, and you're doing this, a heavy lady or heavier man, and you're doing this, and you see the 10%, notice that I don't give up. I keep pushing. I don't give up. I'm 395 pounds. I'm riding this bike, and I will not give up. I would not give up on myself on this. I'm going to push through this race. I'm going to get to the end of this race. And I see the numbers come up. And because I was riding a little harder than I normally, it's hard for me to sprint this last piece out. But I will not give up on this race. And I decide that I'm just going to try to maintain wherever I'm at. I look down, I see one guy right beside me. And I'm going, okay. How far can I finish in the top 20? That's what I say to myself. Can I finish in the top 20? And if I can finish in the top 20, find an achievement in no matter what you're doing in these Zwift races. Find an achievement. My achievement now is to finish. You see, I'm starting to pedal. I want to finish in the top 20. My legs are tired. I push myself a little harder than I normally push, and it's getting harder for me to push it out. Now that I'm back at 5%, it's a little harder for me to push out because, like I said, I pushed myself so hard in the beginning. Thank you guys for whoever, if you ever watch the video and you watch this and you see this, whoever was racing with me in these races, thanks for pushing me that hard. Thank you. Because it causes me to go to my next races and to push myself harder. Because I know these things come up. Now, we come around this corner and this thing jumps up to 10, it slowly comes back down to 8. It forces me down to 5 miles an hour. And I'm putting out 365. I see the end of the race and I go, okay, can I just hold on to 18? That puts me under 20. There are 2 guys behind me and they're trying to catch up. I am not gonna let them get me. I'm gonna hold on to my 18 and I cross. I enjoyed this. I will see you at the next race. Please like and subscribe if you like my content.